Time on Mr. B's garage. We're going to put the Jeep in summer mode and hang the top in his summer home. As you can see, got the top ready to come off. It's the time of year. It's actually April 2nd. I'm a day late. Usually try to do it by the 1st of April. Top comes off, doesn't go back on until 1st of November. Been pretty good about that. It's just sort of my way of enjoying the Jeep. Anyway, I started taking the top off and then said, heck, I'm going to make a video, because there's always people asking about, hey, what do you do to store your top? What do you do to lift your top? Everybody's asking on the Facebook and all the forums. So I figured I'd show you what I do. I videoed me hooking it up without any explanation. So I'll kind of give you just a close-up of some of the stuff we got going on here. So, like you can see, I've got this, I don't know, it's a Racor, something I got off of Amazon. It's kind of a cheap, hokey garage storage lift. It's got this metal rack, which is really cheap, and I can't imagine putting any weight on it. I do like the design. You got 4 cables, 1 in each corner. It's kind of clever. Goes up, if you can see it, the cables go up to pulleys. They go up to one shaft, and the shaft rotates, and it pulls the thing up evenly. Since I store my Jeep up there from April to November, 4 cables gives it more stability. I lifted it one time with one and it's done. I had a boat, did the cheap boat anchor, boat winch, pulley, and no, terrible. I hated it. Putting it back on was even worse because I just couldn't control it and crank the winch at the same time. 2 people that could have done it. By myself, no. Anyway, 4 cables to stay stable, stays up there. Leave the door open often. Never had any problem with gusts of winds. I keep it up there tight. I used to double strap it. I'd put it up there and put some ratchet straps just for safety straps. I don't anymore because I'm kind of lazy. I hope it never falls, because it'll either fall on my Jeep, which would be horrendous, or on my car, which would be hard to fix. My Jeep would just have to get upgraded to the same Jeep with cooler parts. This thing works pretty easy. Take a cordless drill. I extended the shaft that comes with it. A little gearbox up there. It's got a little tab. You pull the tab, it unlocks it. You spin this, it goes up and down. I've had this thing, not even sure anymore. I'd say I've been using this 7 years, maybe more. I noticed last year that the gearbox, see it up there, the gearbox right there is starting to kind of rain powder chips. I may want to upgrade to some point. Just to give you a point of reference, you may see behind me, a few years back, my wife had a 2013 Jeep. No, excuse me, she had 2013. Then we traded. We ended up with 2017 Sport, two-door Sport. Beautiful Jeep. She enjoyed it, but then we traded it for Charger, which is why it's in here. And you can see I don't have much room between the two of them when I put the top on. Jeep's got plenty of room, but where my top has to sit, not a lot of room. Anyway, back to what I was getting to. I made this lift, this top lift, so she could take the top off her Jeep easy. It's a better design. I made the whole thing. I bought some garage door pulleys. I've got some, I don't remember if it's 1/4 inch or 3/16 angle, lag bolted. But you can see all the lag bolts. There's a bunch of lag bolts. Lag bolted. You know, pretty heavy cables. Again, a four cable system. And the 4 cables go back. And as you can see, right there is a little Jeep Harbor Freight winch. So the idea was kind of the same thing. See, I've got 4 cables coming back to a plate. Steel I found, loops and stuff. Anyway, I can plug it in, run it down electrically. Same thing, you can, like I do, you can ratchet strap it through the top. You got to make sure you get the right side of the roll bar. You'll try to lift back the Jeep. Anyway, it works really well. There might even be enough cable to get the same height that I've got, but I don't think so. I'd have to extend the cables, which wouldn't be a big deal. I've got the cable, but I'd have to extend those cables to use that over here. Wouldn't be a problem, but quite frankly, every time I put stuff up there in them rafters, 13 foot in the air, it's no fun. I don't like it. So for 2 years now, this is sat idle back here, because take it down and put it up over there. This 10-foot ceiling ain't bad. 13-foot ceiling, no fun. To put it back here, this would be no fun. This works, so I keep using it. And who knows, maybe one day we'll get her another Jeep. I don't know. I mean, I could use this to pick up other stuff too. It's strong enough. You might wonder why I don't put my top back here. Well, obviously it's a 10-foot ceiling. When I drive the blue car, the Jeep ends up parked back here. Well, if the Jeep's parked back here, it gets kind of tight where the top is. The purple Jeep had room because it was stock height. My Jeep, 35s and a little bit of lift, not so much. So that's why my top gets stored in the tall part of the garage. Stored way up yonder. what you're about to see. So I'm going to set this tripod back up. I'm going to raise it. If you're looking at this and you got this far through my crazy video and you have never taken the top off, or if you have taken the top off, I've done this, I don't know, first year I got it, my wife got me a bikini top, safari cut top for it, and I said that's it from here on out. Every summer the top's coming off. I don't run a soft top, I run a safari top, as you're going to see, and I tarp it. You take the top off of yours, always triple, quadruple check you got all the bolts out. One year I did this and I pulled it, and it's not uncommon for the gaskets to stick. I've had to replace my gaskets once, but it's not uncommon for them to stick. And I thought I had a sticky gasket, and I pulled and I pulled and I pulled and I kind of wiggled it, and then I realized I still left a bolt in it. That would have been bad if I had gotten aggressive. Luckily I didn't. I didn't break anything or anything. So always make sure your two clamp thingies are off on the windshield and your bolts are all out. And again, obviously make sure see if we got enough light in here. Make sure your straps, if you do this method, obviously make sure they go on the right side of the roll bar, because if you get on the wrong side, you're going to try to pick your Jeep up. No good. So anyway, I'm going to set this tripod up and we'll pick this thing up, get it off the Jeep, and then we'll take care of the rest of this summer mode. Well, he's a little stuck this year. She don't want to come off. I think she's trying to tell me I forgot to disconnect the wires. That's what she's telling me. A little bit stuck. There it goes. So it's got some stickage going on here. Or usual. Double, triple, quadruple check. The bolts. The bolts. Alright, so we'll give you, this is where we're at. We got the top broke loose. Like I say, it was a little tricky. It's getting a little stuck there. You can kind of see it's pretty rough right there. Once I get the top off, you'll see it. But kids climb in there, grandkids, everybody. That's the access to the back right there. What I wanted to show you was if you never take the top off, always kind of watch it right here. You want to make sure you kind of go up. But if you've got some kind of a rack or something, you got to make sure you go up and clear it. When I put this rack on here, it kind of became my obstacle. Not a big deal, but and of course, get this out of the way. Gotta make sure these little hooky things don't latch, which that wasn't my problem. My problem was right there. It was stuck. It's probably a time for a new gasket. You know, I just use pickup truck cab gasket material. A lot of times I'll wax this before I put the top back on, but I get pretty lazy. So anyway, I'm going to take the top rest away off. See what we got to see. Okay, so if the car wasn't in the way, I'd probably window be in the way it is. Put it up with the window up more. I usually put it down, make sure these straps don't interfere with any of the wires inside or anything. I used to get real nervous about this, but doing this many years. I mean, any damage I've got on my top, there's a chip here and stuff. It's been from other things. There's one chip on the front edge. It was the first time I took it off. I think I might have banged it against something, but I think I said I saw horses or something. I wasn't doing this way. Anyway, let's watch my jack right here. Yeah, if the car wasn't in the way, it just swings all the way open, but I didn't pull it out of the garage. Again. Come on now. One thing to keep in mind is make sure your wire's disconnected over there. I almost forgot it, but I caught it before I actually started lifting. There's a wire and a hose for the white end of the defroster. Easy, killer. Look at that. It's looking like summer already. Let's see if we can show you something here. Alright, there's the winch portion of it. Right there. This lighting doesn't make it crazy. So there's my drive rod and there's the cables. You can watch that winch thing. I hooked this rod hooks onto an eye right there that spins it just like a rack and pinion. So now take this loose. It's maybe the last year I use this. This is starting to get kind of, yeah. I don't really have a lot of faith in this. But I do think that's a lie because I trust it every year. So now, this little metal thing, it's in there to keep it from spinning, which I really don't think it do. That's what it's for. And get to lock my bifocals. I see it. There. It's in there. She's locked. So like I say, that little, you can see the cable there, that little gear there. It's kind of, yeah, I mean the pulleys, this thing's not been up and down a lot, but it's held a lot of weight for pretty good periods of time. I probably need to inspect it or replace it. That's what I'm using this year one more time. Okay, so the best part about taking the top off is forces me to clean my Jeep out. Of course, those stay on my little, yeah, you know how it is. That goes under my seat. And there's, yeah. So now I got to clean my Jeep out. But first of all, I've got to get it in summer mode. So I'll put the track back on here, windshield track. Brace goes across here, and my best top, safari top. And then I've got some homemade kind of hokey platforms I put over here to keep major water out. She still gets wet, but it's a Jeep. I'm not too worried about it. Oh, I got to remember to put those in a bag. I usually put my wife got me those handy toolless fasteners. They're pretty cool. I usually put those in the bag and stick them up on that rack, but I forgot. Kind of like I did last year when they sat in my toolbox all summer. Well, I'm at it. This is some of the stuff. There's the top and the platform. It's actually my rain top when I'm parked. But I've got other stuff. I keep all that on the platform in the summer, and it just makes it, it keeps it out of the way. I could run it down and put my doors on there if I want to take my doors off. I don't run very often my doors off, but occasionally. So, on to the next step. So, upon closer look, I found one of the culprits. That was stuck. See where it tore some. So, when I bolted the top on last summer, I should put a little bit of wax on here. Wasn't any on there, and you can see some of the scraping from, like I say, grandkids climb up in here. You know, it's a nice easy climb up there and into the Jeep. But that's why the top's stuck. And that's not the first time it's done that. There's a little bit on the other side too. Go around here. Right there is the last spot that's stuck, and you can see it stuck good. So this year I need to put a little bit of wax, or I don't know, maybe Vaseline or something in there. I don't know. Not a big deal, as long as I don't break nothing. So now we'll get her back in coupe mode for the summer. I use the best top, safari top, just after I bought the Jeep many years ago. My wife got me the best top, safari top, actually my wife and my kids all went together and got it, and they got the windshield channel. And I was only figured on using it once in a while. First time I used it, like I said before, that's it. She's running summer mode all summer. First year we did it without doors for them. There's a piece of Velcro, piece of plastic, goes around the roll bar. Problem is, the rain will come in here and ends up on your lap. It's parked in the rain. The safari top keeps you dry until you move. The funnel comes over here, comes in here on the door, lands on your lap. Door surrounds I can be in torrential rain with my windows up, my doors on, and I can feel the mist coming in from behind me, but I stay dry. Door surrounds are the key. I ran a year without them, and quickly realized I needed them. These things aren't really like super strong or just plastic, but they are exactly what you need. Around for several years, no trouble. Now the rain comes around and it doesn't go on my lap. Sorry, top. Little strip here goes up here. Almost forgot it again. The windshield strip, I think. I really don't remember what part it came with, but I ran it for several years without this. And the water puddled in here, just kind of pushed it out. This definitely makes a difference. And the top fits better with it too. Didn't think about it the first 5 or 6 years I ran this thing. Goes in a groove. If I get it. All right, I've got the bikini top back on. Safari top, we're going to call it. Still got to tighten it up, tuck these back. You got a strap in there, holds it tight on the channel. Little straps here. I put them around the door surrounds. I'm not really sure where they go. This is the only spot I really get water. It kind of comes in here and follows that strap, drips. It's got to rain pretty good for it. I run it with the doors on most of the time. Very seldom take the doors off, just once in a while for fun. Just that way I can have some climate control. I don't use AC. I don't need it. Now I'll put my little homemade back top on. Give you a little history. Like I said, my wife bought the first Safari top. My wife and my kids put it on, loved it. And each year I kind of worked on drying the Jeep out because I drove it every day. The Safari top, I got the door surrounds the next year to get the water dropping in. Then one year I decided I needed a platform. Just needed something to keep the back of the Jeep dry. So I made something too cheap. And I had a piece of Advantech in my backyard for like 10 years and it didn't rot. So I decided Advantech. This is one of those, looks good from 10-foot things. Close up, yeah, you know it's Advantech. It's my Jeep. I mean, I got zebra stripes on it. It looks good. I like it. realistically the top thing on the back ended up looking good. It's just, it's Advantech. It's been sitting on the back of my Jeep every summer from April 1st to November 1st for, I don't know, 6 or 7 years. It's in 2 sections. You'll see it. It's in 2 sections. So I can remove one part if I want to use the back seat. I've not found anything as versatile in the, commercially. And even if I did, I couldn't afford it. It's a Jeep. I build stuff. So I build stuff for my Jeep. So I'm going to put that on. I'll let you see how I put it on. It's held on. Kind of see it. These pieces here go underneath this lip. And then I've just got some eye bolts with these little, I forget what they're called, but they're little threaded inserts go in the back of plywood. The eyelets are strong enough that I can tie a cooler down to it or whatever. I can take those 4 off, take the front section outside. I layered it so the rain gets on here, it doesn't just go in between the cracks. These little filler pieces are more for just a little bit extra protection. Water does get in here. I mean, I can't prevent that without making a boot, and I wasn't getting that fancy. Again, I was just trying to keep the main water out. Sun gets in there, I'm not too worried about it. The main stuff's what I'm really looking to keep out. I've still got carpet, and you can see it's all full of dog fur. St. Bernard and yellow lab. So obviously a little bit of water isn't going to bother me because this isn't a show vehicle. It's my Jeep that I like to drive. So I'm going to put this back on first. It typically stays on unless I just take a notion to take the dogs and I have to take it off. I take the dogs, fold the back seat up. I've got nets that I put on the back too. I'm going to put the platform on and then I'll show you what it looks like with the platform. So you can see it's got a lip. The other one sits on here, so if rain gets in here, it can't just go through. There's weather stripping. The weather stripping is all getting pretty rough. I can't even think how many years ago I made this. It's got to be 6, 7, maybe 8 years ago. I don't know. I could look it up. So the weather stripping, you can see there's gaps in it and stuff. It's just some old weather stripping I found where it worked. All this is wood. This is all 3/4 Advantech, screwed and glued. There's things I would have done differently because it doesn't really, it's kind of, yeah, there's things I would have done different. Version 2 will be different. Version 2 may be out of aluminum or maybe aluminum clad, but this works so good, it may be a while before I get to version 2 because it works so good. As you can see, it's solid. The grandkids climb on it, I climb on it, I stand on it. You know, it's subflooring. You can't go wrong. And it's probably, I don't know, some percentage epoxy, so water doesn't bother it. I mean, I got a spot right here, I noticed. And I'm thinking I probably chipped that hauling something because I haul stuff back here all the time. Yeah, I don't think it's water damage. This paint's the original paint. It needs to be repainted. This is the back half. You can see with the back half, I still have full function of the seat. The seat goes just right to the edge. Now I get the front half on and you'll get the whole effect. There she is. I'm not done. I got to put the roof rack back on yet. That's summer mode. Be like that till hopefully November. Unless I have to fly somewhere and have to park at the airport or something crazy. It's the only thing that's ever kept me from taking it out of this mode. Rain, cold, that's different. Of course, I live in Tennessee. It doesn't really get that cold. Although I have been cold in it. So, we'll prop you up and put the rest of the rack back on. It's the rack. And the nuts, if we get to them. And that's my desktop rain cover for when I park it. Go. I got a couple hose clamps I put in the middle to keep it from rattling. The rack design was meant to be kind of modular, not really modular, kind of easy to take off. It is. It's got a little wobble to it, but I've got brackets to fix that. I just never bought the rubber boot things. Rubber thing that's up against the body. Never been a problem, so again, the grandkids climb all over that too. Big jungle gym. There it is. There's my 2005 Jeep Wrangler Unlimited Safari Jeep in coupe mode. And my top stored for the summer. Thank you.